It's May 2024 and I've asked around the village if anyone knows of available land. I'm put in contact with a farmer who tells me that his current tenant wants to downscale and therefore some land is available. I put in my offer and a week later I've got myself some land. Now it used to have chickens, chickens, turkeys, ducks. But as they've all died off, the guy didn't decide to replace them because he said the cost of feed didn't make it worth it. So it's all the way up to the corrugated iron there. Can we go down here? No, it's a bit blocked. The river's next door. In fact, we might be able to see it, shall we? Let's see if we can open this gate. There we go. Oh, a bit careful of the brambles. Go down to the river. See it? And there's another shed down here. Now I think this is... Oh look, and there's a bit of a coal frame there. I think this is the shed that... So all these buildings were used for chickens. But one of them has a solid floor. I think it's this one here. So maybe a good location for the shed. So it's more than enough for me. It's a beautiful size. So say now, for example, I'll put the shed there. I'll just do a little bit at a time. No need to bust a gut. Hopefully I'll be here for years. And then here, come out and have a cup of tea at the side of the river and in the shade of the old mountain. But it's good that this coal frame is here. That's like a proper old-fashioned one. Put a few panes of glass on and it will look very nice. I told the current tenant that was leaving not to be in a rush to demolish the buildings or to remove his stuff. It's May, so unless I really go bullet a gate, there's no point rushing and set my targets for spring 2025 to start planting. My first task, and also to help out the previous tenant, was to demolish the Harris fencing. All this will go back to the previous guy so that I can start with a clean canvas. Well, I just thought I'd call in, have a look at the land on the way home. As you can see, the previous person who had it has taken down one of the sheds and has trimmed.
If this chicken coop had been in a better condition, I think I would have kept it and turned it into a shed. But because of the amount of feces, it was decided it was best to get rid and for me to start again.
And I might try and use some of the panels as a roof on the shed, just to give it some added protection. So all this is going to be burnt. So there we go, there's the concrete base there. That should be enough for the shed. Look at this old-fashioned saw. Need 2 people to use that. So let's go this way. So where that water butt is there, here, this is where my part of the land starts, because I'm actually sharing this with somebody else, but we've put this post in, and then that is the dividing line, because the whole land is 100 foot by about 40 foot. So I've got this top half, so mine is 50 foot by 40. So that chicken coop is going. So if I just stand back here, that then is a very good indication of the size of land that I've got, which is more than enough for me. It feels nice to be back in a shed again. Oh, cup of tea time now, isn't it? I've started buying plants. I know, I try not to. I've always said, don't buy plants until you've got the space ready. But there were lots of end of spring sales on. Oh, it's getting quite chilly. It's been a beautiful day here in Wales. A lot of people asked why the windows are on the other side. That's because the plan is I'll be able to sit, there'll be a seat there so I can sit and look at the river. But I must say, it is an absolutely glorious day, and there's even a bit of heat in the sun. So, have a look at the grand reveal. This is what the seat looks like in the shed. But the plants themselves are doing really well. Some of them coming into flower, and this rose is just bursting to come into bloom. Shall I tell you what the colour is, or do you want to wait and see? Right, let me just pop it on you and tip it in, and I'll be back. And the colour is charcoal. This is very thin. What's gone wrong? Is it because it's been in the heat all day? I'm doing this tonight because I may go and get the... Look how thin it is. What's gone wrong? I may go and get the downpipe so I can set up the water butt tomorrow. Which, to be honest, I'm surprised the whole thing is costing so much money to get the downpipe and put it on. I'm going to take my time doing the rest of the garden because we're going into July now, so there's no point trying to bust a gut to get a load of crops in now. What I will do is I will now concentrate on getting crops in for winter. There we go, and haven't wasted any whatsoever. There you go, nothing there now. Beautiful. And the smell of that Chandos Beauty rose is beautiful. Oh, hello. Looks a bit bright in the tin. Looks a lot brighter than I thought. Let's hope it rainforest green. So there we go. That's the way it will have to be for the time being. The plan is for me to actually build shelves made out of wood and build a table and things. I just wanted something as a temporary measure, because again I could use this outside as a compost, not a compost, a potting bench for when it's too hot to do it inside. But for the time being, I think that works. Yes, this is only a temporary measure. The ideal plan is to build, like I had in one of my sheds back in London, is to build a bench down here and proper shelves and a place for a cooker on this other side by the window. But for the time being, it'll do. Oh, I think I need a rest now. There you go, is that straight? It's not a Chelsea flower show, so it all adds to the rustic charm, doesn't it? Right, let's have a look now what we're going to plant up against it. If you're ever stuck for a flower, you have to get this. This is the Chandos Beauty, and it is a beauty. It smells absolutely gorgeous. Now, I hadn't planned to do this today, but I just wanted to see if my spanner fitted my nuts. And it does, but it needs a bit of brute force with it. So I've just managed, because I've left the WD-40 in the house, so I need to remember to bring that down next time. I've managed to get one of these off. Mind your backs. It's a big momentous day, the revealing of the river. I think the edge is literally 2 foot. It sort of slopes downwards. Do you know what? I need a damn good cup of tea after that. Hey! Beautiful looking soil this is. What I'll do is, when I get a new bag of compost, I'll just throw some down to give it a feed. And we leave a bit of a well, because when it comes to water, the water will just sit in the well and slowly go down, rather than if it was on the flat, the water has a habit of going everywhere else where you don't want it to go. And then on the other side, I've put the clematis. The variety is Montana Rubens. Now this was originally the floor of the shed, but because the shed is now standing on an old concrete base, I thought I may use these as the main path through the vegetable bed. Right, this is where you need an extra pair of hands, don't you? Because it's quite heavy. Now, shall I put it on the slant like that? Because it's quite heavy. I'll tell you that for now. So I thought, what shall I do with this? If we pop it on this door here, it can then be used as a notice board where I can put my tasks for the day. You know, what needs to be sewn and stuff like that. So is that centre? We'll try and make things look good, don't we? There are severe black clouds coming overhead. It's good when I can use things from the old allotment. It feels a bit of a connection to the old land. There we go, that'll do. The pressure, you can feel it dropping. So I'll try and get home before the storm arrives. It looks like I could be caught here for a while. That rain is throwing it down.
The previous tenant had a roll of plastic which he had used on the chicken coop, so he suggested that I have a roll and use it instead of felt on the shed. The first vegetable crops to go into the ground are potatoes, which will be harvested at Christmas, along with leeks. So at least I'll have leek and potato soup to look forward to.
There you go. What I can do is, in the meantime, I can use this, can't I? So we'll have a cup of tea there. Get a bit of water on there. Let's hope I put enough water in, because that did boil rather quickly. Yeah, there's enough water. And then I'll just pop these tea bags in this pot for the time being. I must say, this certainly takes me back a few years, back to when I had the rusty allotment in London. There you go. That'll do me. Then we'll pop the coreopsis, which is one of the very first plants that I sowed from seeds. Not this, but you know, 40 years ago. And this is the same variety called Sunrise. Now if you pull them out and there's a lot of roots, give them a bit of a tease. Help them on their way. And then just pop it in. No need to be cute about it. Pop it in, give it a bit of water. I must say, this soil is quite sandy up the top end here. There you go. Beautiful. My leeks are doing really well. They're actually starting to bulk up now, and it's also good to see that even though I haven't been here, no weeds have appeared. You can tell it's a bit like us all now, getting old. I need to take that sign off and put the new one on. But I'm a bit unsure where on the homestead that is actually going to go. So it may go at the start of the vegetable beds, although it could go over here somewhere. So as you can see, it's 7:30. Oh, a moth just came out. It is 7:30, and today has been an absolutely glorious day. It is, or it has been, about 20 degrees, 21 degrees, with a breeze. So tonight I thought I would just come down and have a little walkthrough on what I need to do. I still need to find a place to put that. Look at that. Obviously now I'm a bit late tonight. The sun has gone beyond the mountain. But it's lighting up Pen Baker Street there. Oh, hello. Look at that, we can't get down there now. But all this will fall back in the winter. Look at that. It's impossible to see where the river is. Ouch. Just put my hand right on a stinging nettle. Oh, that hurt, that did. That thin little bugger there. Now all this here isn't mine. Belongs to the guy on this side. But I understand he's had a bit of an accident. I wonder if anybody's had an accident and then they've had that phone call. Have you had an accident? Oh. Just walk over the top of it to try and... See? It's not straight. I'm just going to explore to see how easy it could be to get these panels off in order to put the gate there. Now, in my head, it's a case of simply dragging that that's the solar panel. And then drag in this. Like so. And then before I leave, I need to screw this side back together again. Right, let's get the door now and see how this fits. Sorry spiders, you're gonna have to run. I found this just lying around. Oh no, I think this was part of the chicken coop. So if this was part of the chicken coop, it seems quite appropriate that it's being used again. Oh, it's got hinges on, that's good. Right, I'm going to have to get my screwdriver to remove the camera. But that is fitting quite well. In fact, I could use that for the time being just to keep it up there. Look at that. Looks like it was meant to be. Right. Let me have a look at how it looks on the other side, and then I think it's time for a cup of tea. My own gate to paradise. There you go. So it's not going to blow open until I get a chance to put a lock on it. Well, that's a good afternoon's bit of work, that is. I'll probably put a few flagstones down. But for the time being, that'll do me. Let me try this. There you go, that looks good, that does. Beautiful. Right. Let me, and then to close it on this side, I've got to do that. For the time being, we're using this temporary measure, which is a bit stiff. There you go. That's a job well done. Oh, nice reward now with a cup of tea. Well, it's 6:30, time to knock off now and go home. Tonight I'm having the bit of salmon that I bought from the fisherman this morning. This is what the plot's looking like. I'm hoping now, if this heat wave comes, I can continue to do this part here. Beautiful flowers. Look at that, it's almost luminous in this evening gloom. And the blue one next door is putting on a fantastic show. But the temperature is dropping quickly. It feels like third week in October. Oh, just had a little sleep in the old shed there. But I've been hand weeding the leeks and they're putting on quite a bit of weight and I'm impressed. My potatoes, they've been touched by a bit of frost, but there's nothing I can do about it. I do have some fleece and I'm going to put that on top now just before I go. Well, what a palaver to the start of the day. I was coming down the street with my wheelbarrow full of compost and my nuts were loose and I didn't realise. And the next day my wheel fell off and I was sat there going, I've lost my nut. How am I going to proceed to enjoy this beautiful day? And then a neighbour passed, but I think I'll say it in the dialect of the valleys. A neighbour passed, English fella, but tidy with it. And he said, I've got a van, let me get the van. So he got the van, he just thrown everything into the van, turned up at the homestead. And this wheelbarrow that I've bought, even though I think it would be very good for light work around the homestead, for carrying heavy stuff, because the handles are added on, that nothing is a full piece. It was a bit on the wobbly side. So now I need to get all this stuff into the shed. Slow and steady wins the race. And it's quite nice to sit here, clean my tools and listen to the river. Although I do find when I'm in the shed there listening to the river, it's very easy to doze off. Remember these? This takes me back to being a kid. Storm lamps. I've got some paraffin that's due to arrive while I'm down here. In fact, it's been such a glorious day today, but I've been stuck indoors doing things, and I've come out and the sun's gone in. Typical, isn't it? But I've got one of these, and it's one that's going to work, because there's nothing better than being in a shed, in a well ventilated shed, before you say it, and having a paraffin lamp flickering on a cold winter's night. All right, here we go. This is how the shed is looking. The biggest thing that's taking up the space is this. It's a metallic whiteboard, which arrived a few days ago, and that will go on the back wall. Right, not as easy as you thought, lad. Not as easy as you thought. Look at this, a retractable shed roof. Right, now I'm caught by the door. Oh, it's all fun and games, isn't it? So, let me just squeeze my schoolboy figure through. Oh, it's quite nice. In fact, it adds a bit of air. Right, let me have a think about this now. You don't get this on Gardener's World, do you? So now I need to try and spin it round a bit. Yes, it'd be too easy to take it all out and bring it back in. I can hear you. I'm just choosing to ignore you. And then just slotted this in down the back. Oh well, it's my workout for the week done. I would have earned a cup of tea when this is finished. Right, one last heave now. Oh, it doesn't fit. Look, it doesn't fit. Just that little bugger there. Oh, I'll sleep tonight. Oh, hit my head then. Here we go. Yes. Hey. Does it even fit this side? I'm quite looking forward to the winter now, when I can be sat in the shed with a paraffin lamp going on. There's plenty of holes in this shed, so don't be worried about ventilation. Just before I do rush off though, just have a look at the Acer. It's now starting to put on its autumnal colours. And beautiful to see it is too. That frost that we had this morning has put pay to the Christmas potatoes. Now there's no way they are going to recover. So the best thing I could do is just dig them up and see what is underneath. Now shall I do that today or shall I leave it? There you go. A nice meal. Time 5:15. Right, so we've just turned up at the homestead and I can't remember what I left behind, to be honest, so it'll be much of a surprise to me as it will be for you. And also I didn't tell him what things to bring, so it looks like we've got a few trees there. So maybe these are the apple trees. And we've got some dead chairs. Ah, and we've got some of the Queen Elizabeth roses. So there we go, plastic's down. But this is the base of the summer house. And now we just pop the stones in. Now they say if you haven't got many stones, just do the outside and don't bother with the centre. To see if it's level and the bubble is in the middle. Perfect. Now unfortunately we got so into the task at hand I forgot to pick up the camera, so this is where we are so far. Go into the shed for a cup of tea, then look out through the square window onto the flower bed. Now it says it can be built with 2 people, but we're having to improvise. That's the first section of the roof is in. So this is what it looks like. The glass needs to go in, but that is on another day. And also these are all the little finicky bits to go around, like the outside and there. I also bought some plants in the autumn sale. You plant them now and you smell them next spring. Can you guess what they are? They are wallflowers called Fire King. Beautiful looking plug plants they are, even if they do have a few weeds contained within them. So now I have this patch here to the right of the summer house, half semicircle of wallflowers, and it's supposed to be green, but it looks more like, I don't know, like an ice cream blue. Right, before I get on my knees and do the bit at the bottom, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. It is getting extremely cold now. An instinct tells me that I need to stop. Right, well, I think the first thing to do is to have a brew. Apparently there's a snowstorm coming next week and bad weather, so I need to sort the roof out. The problem is I haven't got an A-frame ladder, and I don't know if it's wise to put a house ladder against it, but whatever I do, I need to move these. Oh, just had a cup of tea and a bit of a sleep. Right, let's get back to it. Whoa, all over this land. Oh. Here we go, lads. Cup of tea always makes everything better. Look at that. I have never seen it this close to the homestead before. It is less than 6 foot away. Look at the torrent. I can understand how the village is flooded. Well, what a week it's been. The last time I came down here, the river was very high, and I haven't been back since. So even though it's 4:30 and it's getting quite dark, I thought I'd have a little stroll around the homestead just to check that everything is okay. Summer house looks fine. All the plastic is still there, yes. So inside, I'm not going to go inside this evening, but I would imagine it is cozy warm in there. But the leeks are looking very nice in the gloaming at the moment. Right, let us have a look at the river. Can you remember what it looked like the last time I came here? Look how close that is to my boundary line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look back at the video that I filmed, and that tree right in front of you there, that one there, I'm going to put a ribbon around the tree or something just to indicate how high the river got. But looking at it now, I think it looked a bit more terrifying than what it actually was. I think we were about 3 foot away, but I've just noticed now, I can't remember if this was here before the storm, so I will have to look at my pictures. But there are lots of bricks down there, so I will have to investigate whether the small retaining wall that was here, whether that has collapsed. Let's come and have a look at the damage that was caused by the storm that came through. Okay. I thought that plastic would have held up, in fact, but obviously it did not. Is the building still tight? You know, at least the building is still standing. Oh yes, these plastics were on top of the table, weren't they? Okay, well that can be fixed, you know. Oh, the fence has been blown back. The force, there you go, the fence has been blown back a bit. And looks like my water butt's going for a walk. Let me see if I can get my water butt back without falling in myself. This bit of bramble has saved it. See, brambles can be friends sometimes. Well, obviously it's a bit wet now inside because there's no roof. Now I wonder if any of this glass has actually smashed. It hasn't, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave it there until I'm ready to deal with it. Glass on this side. That looks fine. Looks like it was in the shelter there. That glass is fine there. What about this one? And that's fine as well. That's a sure sign that it's toughened glass, isn't it? But what I've done in the meantime is I've thrown the roofing felt, the plastic, back on top of the shed because I'm waiting for the new roof to arrive in the post. So at least, because the inside is a bit damp, so at least I've done that. And then when the new roof is on, I'm going to get a heater and just heat the inside. I don't need that many, but as you know, I like a leak with a good shaft. So maybe, and also it's an opportunity to thin out. And this ground is quite soft, so I've got no qualms in pulling them up by the hand. I've built a bird table. Now I said I wasn't going to do it because I didn't want to encourage the birds. But I've set up a 24-hour live stream camera on the summer house. And I'll put the link to that below if you want to go off and have a look at it. Nothing much is going to happen, it's just watching the garden grow. If I'm in it, something for you to watch. But I thought I'd put this here as a bird table, so if I'm not in the garden, at least there's a bit of activity for you to watch. And also, on this bit of wood here, I've got an outdoor thermometer I want to put there, so at least the people watching the live stream can see what the temperature is. Any guesses? Ah, right. This is an hibiscus. Very nice. What else do we have? Something with a really heavy pot, I'll tell you that for note. And can you guess what this one is? Nah, bit of a trick question, because this is hibiscus as well, but it's a different variety. This is called Marina. And what's this one with a very heavy pot? Looks like it's the same. It is. It's an hibiscus woodbridge. Well, so welcome to the National Collection of Hibiscus. So we've got 3 of them. And what do we have here? Guess what that is? It's full of buds. Ah, this is an azalea. I bought this one because it reminded me of when I went to Aberdare Park the other week. Remember? Look at that. Full of buds. Plan is to plant them today. And then what's this one? A rhododendron. Now why did I buy a rhododendron? Must have been because of the colour. But where did I think I was? Oh, I think this was due to go up by the pond. In that book I bought the other day, in fact I should have brought it down here, the waterproof book, the stone book, which apparently you can write in even if it's raining. I'm going to start using that book. So when I buy things online, I'm going to write down my thoughts at the time that I purchase. And then hopefully we'll have none of this me stood around going, where's this going to go? The greenhouse was due to go down there next door to the shed. But because the wind comes over the top of the summer house, goes down there, bounces off the fence, that's not my fence, bounces off the fence, then goes down to the river. I think if I put the greenhouse there, it will be right slap bang in the middle of a disaster. So I've had a bit of a think, and I'm thinking about putting the greenhouse here. So this is all the London stuff I need to sort out. Mostly it's bits of wood which I can reuse. So I'm thinking about putting it here. So we'll end up with the greenhouse next door to the summer house. And I thought maybe long ways. So the door, I'll have to go down by the side of the... So let me just show you. So I'm going to the greenhouse, walk into the greenhouse, open the door, I'm in the greenhouse. That's what I'm thinking. Right, the roots are a bit tangled here, so just tease the roots out. There you go. Pop them in, and then that can romp away against a future tool shed. I came down Boxing Day and had a full a day as possible until it got dark about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I made a list and I checked it twice. And I thought, I'm going to do those jobs that are neither naughty or nice. So there's been a bit of a change. So in this video I thought I'll just give you a bit of a tour of the homestead at the end of the first year. I'm thinking about putting a video together where I look back over the first year. So if that's something you're interested in, tell me in the comments below. So these are the changes on the homestead in the last 24 hours. So this is the space where the greenhouse will go. So the first job will be to put down a base. I haven't decided whether it's going up against the fence or bang in the middle. That is something still to be decided, but this area is now clean. Also the area here, and I haven't decided what's going here, to be honest. Maybe just flowers, I don't know. All the plastic has been collected. This contraption here is to hang your kettle or your pot over an open fire, which is something I will do in time. Now I've taken the bench from the top, as you can see, so I've walked around and had a general tidy up of the whole site. All this is to go out for the rubbish on Monday, and the bench has been moved down to the side of the summer house. Now the London stuff has been put in the corner over there, and in time I'm going to build a small shed just to house it all, but it's just pots, so they can be out in the rain, that's fine. This is now my woods section. Collected all the bits of wood up, threw them there. In here is all the cardboard or stuff that can be burnt. There's still a few pieces of wood in there for the summer house, but that's fine. I know about that. And as you can see, the green plastic has been taken off. I've just noticed there's a tiny piece still there. There you go, I'll cut that before I go. So this next panel here, that will come out. And I'm thinking about leaving this panel here, to be honest, this one. I just need that one taken out, because when you're sat in front of the shed, it's blocking the view. And then that will be replaced, depending on price, with a picket fence. So let us walk up the path. Well, hold on, what's the temperature? 8 degrees. So I'm just looking now. As you can see, there is an old pathway which I've started to use. But when we come down to the door, I don't tend to walk on the path. I just walk on this section. So this path could be a flower bed, and that might be quite nice. As you walk in, the first thing you see is a bed of flowers, and then the new path can go here and then connect up with the old path at this section. Right, let us walk down here, show you what's gone on. You saw Barbara's tree was planted over Christmas. I'm very happy where it is. I don't intend for it to grow tall. I will be pruning it hard every year. So this will be the pond and the waterfall section. The fence, I've had a word with the neighbour and we're going to sort that out. I have bought a roll of felt and if the weather's good, which is forecast, that will go up on top of the shed tomorrow. I still have quite a few leeks to come out, and there are still some potatoes there, and I've left the potatoes in for a reason, because I want to see how sort of much this soil will hold on to the water. So if the potatoes come out and they're perfectly edible, then that tells me that the soil doesn't get that damp here. Right, so here we go, round the corner, and then looking over to the waters. But as you can see, just by being stood here, it's just this fence panel is in the way, whereas the one next door to it is perfectly fine. It's this one that's withstanding the view. So this one will come out as well, and then a picket fence will be replaced, and posts will be driven into the ground. And then it'd be quite nice to sit here. Now, anybody that watched back in the summer will know that there is a plant, I can't remember, Himalayan balsam grows here. But I intend in 2025 to cut it down and to dispose of it. As soon as I see a shoot, it'll be gone. So I'm still keeping the door. I'm still keeping that. See, we can actually walk down this side now. I'm still keeping the fence door, so I'll be able to go down and sort out. Here's some fruit. That is to go in now over the next month. Try and get that in definitely before the end of February, and that will go in this section. I'm going to see if I can squeeze them in to the section that of the width of this coal frame and put them all the way down to here. So I don't know, maybe there's not enough space. I haven't sat down to calculate it. Instinct says it's a bit too small. So if that is the case, then I'll think of somewhere else to put them. The original plan was to put them here, but like I've explained to you before, the wind tends to fly over the top here. So I think the greenhouse will be a lot safer in this corner rather than down there. I suppose the fruit could go around the outside. Right, okay, that's sorted that issue out. Now you might be thinking, well, what are you going to do with this big space here? And I'm undecided. It could be a fruit section, in fact. I could put the fruit here and then put a large fruit cage on top. But I'm thinking about building my own shed with a window looking out onto the garden and onto the mountain beyond. And I can see by looking up there are a load of people on top of Pen Peak. I can count about 12. See, my eyes are very good at looking at things from afar, just not at looking at things close up. So I'm going to have them tested in the new year. I still need to finish this by putting the glass in. Now, unfortunately, when I went to Wickes yesterday to pick up the felt, I forgot to get a nail gun. So I will be going back there tomorrow. I don't want a big gun, I just want a small one. But it certainly makes a difference, doesn't it? Just to go around and pick up the bits and bobs. It makes it look twice as big now. So I'm hoping the weather will be fine tomorrow so I can come back down. I can actually feel a bit of sun trying to get through. If it's fine, or if it's at least dry, I can come down and sort the roof out, and then that is something else to tick off the list. Because once this greenhouse is built, that's the next big job now, is to build the greenhouse, get the foundations in, then put the greenhouse up, because that is a bit of an important task to do the greenhouse, because everything else spurts off from that, the sowing of the seeds and things. So this shed that I'm talking about down there, that is not a priority this year. But it's nice to be back in the garden, and it's nice to see it clean. It was always my intention to do it over this period, because between Boxing Day and New Year's Day, it's a bit of a strange period. You don't know what day of the week it is, you don't know what to do with yourself. It's a really good time to get down to your homestead, get down to your allotment, and do a bit of a tidy up. But I'm going to put the kettle on now and have a nice cup of tea. So I will catch up with you in a few days. So from me until then, bye for now.